next year, 16 prospects will be in attendance in Pittsburgh. Waiting for that call, for that magical moment. Plenty of names here on this board to get excited about, and certain players that we are keeping an eye on. Let's start with you, Kevin Clark.
Sonny Styles, 6'5" linebacker, did not miss a tackle during the regular season and the Big Ten championship game. Has some of the best tape on earth. When he went to the combine to do his testing, his numbers were more in line with Julio Jones and Calvin Johnson than any other linebacker. That's the type of athlete that we're talking about. I think he's going to end up being the best player in this draft. He's an unbelievable athlete. Give me him in the top 5.
Excited to see Francis Mauigoa and where he lines up, because we're going to find out a lot on draft day. Not only the city he's playing, maybe the position he plays at the pro level. A right tackle, vast majority of his time at Miami. But there are teams who see him potentially as a guard. A lot of teams see him as a right tackle. Might even see teams see him as a future left tackle. So where he goes and what those teams have at tackle and guard might determine where he's playing week 1 in the NFL.
Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love is one of the most interesting and perhaps most talented players in the entire draft. Maybe even the most talented player. But he also plays a position that is not seen as valuable or is more context dependent. So where he goes in the draft, to me, is a fascinating question. If it was based on talent alone, undeniably it would go top 3. But it's not. And it sometimes is hard to figure out what the best destination is for Jeremiah Love. I'm excited to talk about that today.
I am also very excited to talk about that today, and a story with you alongside the brain trust here. We have Bill, we have Mina, we have Kevin. We are getting smarter today, and we also, all of us, we love love. It is hard to argue who has been the most valuable offensive player in college over the last 2 seasons, and it is indeed the guy that Mina was talking about, Notre Dame's Jeremiah Love, top 2 in FBS in scrimmage yards and touchdowns. He broke Jerome Bettis' touchdown record, which had stood since 1991. He's been so good, he's gotten the attention of one Saquon Barkley.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I'm a really big fan. I think he's a heck of a player. I think has a great chance of going very high in the draft. But whoever gets that guy, again, a guy who is versatile, like can do it all back. He can block, he can run in between tackles, outside tackles, he can catch the ball. 2 years ago in the playoffs against Penn State, he had a run like in the goal line, and just I don't know how he got into the end zone, and he found a way to get in the end zone. And from there, I knew he was going to be a great back, and super excited for him and wish him nothing but the best.
So cool to hear Saquon say that, Bill. Saquon, the last running back drafted in the top 5. Which team do you think? Because Mina said, you know, it is fascinating. He should probably go to a team that is built to maximize his talents. What do you think is a good fit?
I would say Washington, a team maybe Saquon Barkley does not want to see Jeremiah Love go to in the division. But the Commanders already have the infrastructure for a back to succeed. They have an established, very solid offensive line led by their star left tackle, Laramie Tunsil. They were effective running the football each of the last 2 seasons with more lesser backs or replacement level backs in the backfield. And they have Jayden Daniels. And when you have a mobile quarterback, that changes the numbers for you up front. Now that backside defensive end, those linebackers, they have eyes on the quarterback, because the quarterback might keep the football and run himself. We saw Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry both improve their efficiency dramatically as runners when they got with mobile quarterbacks. Saquon with Jalen Hurts, Derrick Henry with Lamar Jackson. So getting him in an offense that's going to have a quarterback who's a threat to run with the football, either on design runs or on scrambles or off of play action, could be a way to make Jeremiah Love's easier in year 1 with the Commanders.
Until that clip of Saquon at Augusta, I thought this show was going to be a safe space to not remind me how bad my Masters picks were. But let's talk about Jeremiah Love here for a second. I'm looking at this and I'm seeing him maybe falling to the back of the top 10 or even out of the top 10 could be the best thing that ever happened to him. We've proof of concept from last year. Ashton Genty going to Vegas with nothing around him was a really bad situation for basically everybody involved. It made the pick look worse than it actually was. I'm eyeing the Rams at 13 or potentially a team trading up into the back half of the top 10. Hasn't happened since Melvin Gordon in the first round. The team trades up to go get their guy. Love the Commanders, as Bill said. That would be a nice pick there. Jayden Daniels obviously trying to accentuate the deep ball again this year, but the running game, the running lanes are going to be huge part of that. So I think there's a bunch of really good teams that are built now to win. I like the Jahmyr Gibbs model of playing behind a great offensive line, explosive runs, feeding into a contender. That is my fit for Love more than maybe a top 5 team that is still building, wouldn't have the line to support him.
My favorite destination, which is not in the top 10, would be Minnesota with pick 18, because I do think they have the infrastructure. And now with Kyler Murray likely as their starting quarterback, the timeline for a superstar running back. You already have your receivers. The offensive line, when healthy, is good enough. And Love, to me, would take a run game that did improve some last year to the next level. But that's not going to happen. He's not going to be there at 18. So inside the top 10, I'm going to concur with Bill. I think the Washington Commanders make the most sense, given the fact that their offensive line is in decent shape. You have Terry McLaurin. For me, it would be hard to turn down Carnell Tate if he's available to them, because they do need another receiver, and I think he pairs so well with McLaurin. But I also think the Cleveland Browns at 6 are a very strong candidate to take Tate. And so if Commanders were in that spot with Love as an option for them, I would definitely consider it, but it would also have to go up against, one of the top 3 edge rushers if that was an option as well.
When we refer to him as a running back, are we selling him a little bit short, Bill, because of the other things that he can do? Like, how would you anticipate that he might be used in the NFL?
Yeah, the receiving stuff matters here. And we've seen great offenses really incorporate their running backs into the receiving game in special ways. I go back to Sean Payton with the Saints and Alvin Kamara, with Kyle Shanahan and Christian McCaffrey, and really Sean McVay last year with Kylan Williams. When they needed a big play, they went to the running back choice concept. They got the running back out in the backfield, isolated against a linebacker or a safety one-on-one, let him pick his side of the field wherever he wanted to go. And that was the spot they went to on 3rd downs and 4th downs over and over and over again, even given all the talent they had elsewhere in that offense. So I do think it's going to be incumbent on the new Commanders staff to get the most out of him. But we know he can be a very special player, both as a runner and as a receiver.
Yeah, he also had the 5th most missed tackles in the last 2 seasons. So just, put that into the equation. Again, that's one of the great questions. We also have some tremendous wide receivers in this draft. So let's go through that. Matt Miller has locked in his rankings ahead of the NFL draft. These are his top 5 wide receivers. USC's Mekhi Lemon leading things off. Miller most recently has him going 6th to the Browns. We have Ohio State's Carnell Tate. We have Indiana's Omar Cooper Jr., followed by Jordan Tyson, KC Concepcion next off the board. Kevin, how do you rank this class? Take me through the next tier.
Yeah, I have Carnell Tate number 1. And you do not go broke in this industry by taking an Ohio State receiver. They've been reliable for almost a decade now. I don't think Tate's at the level of Garrett Wilson and Marvin Harrison Jr. and some of these other amazing prospects, Chris Olave, that we've seen. I don't think he's at the level of Jeremiah Smith, who'll be a top 5 pick next year, but I think that he is the best route runner. I think that he will, with any of these quarterbacks, we talked about Jayden Daniels, again, he will work back to the ball, he will get open, he will be a quarterback's best friend in week 1. I have KC Concepcion at number 3, a little bit higher than most people. I just watch him in NC State, watch him in the SEC. He was reliably getting open. He was a forced missed tackle machine. He was a yards after catch demon. I just love everything about his game, and it's just going to translate really easily very early into his NFL career. Jordan Tyson, I have number 2. I just look at this and I say there's a lot that is right about him. We talk about his hamstring and his soft tissue stuff, and yes, that's a concern. Yep. But you just turn on the tape and you say, you know what? I'm going to roll the dice on Jordan Tyson. So incredibly deep class. I think there's going to be deep class every year. That's just the way the game is going. The best athletes in the sport at that size are playing wide receiver. It's going to be a deep class, maybe forever, but this is a good year to get somebody, especially late in the first round.
Yeah, we have the same top 3, Kevin. I thought I was bold for putting Concepcion at 3 over Lemon. I think it's a really close debate because they're different players, first of all. And there's a world in which Mekhi Lemon, if he lands in the right offense, is going to catch 1 million passes. He's a high volume target. He has vices for hands. The floor he brings is very high, but I think for Concepcion, the ceiling is actually a bit higher. And the way I would put it is this: Mekhi Lemon, after the catch, runs through people. Casey Concepcion, pardon me, runs past them. He looks like he's shot out of a cannon with the ball in his hands, and that to me is what the what NFL teams are just always looking for, what they covet so much. It's explosive playmaking, and he has